Welcome back to the Shine Within podcast. Sonia, also known as your dream catcher and wellness coach, is dedicated to empowering professional women to keep their promises to themselves, transforming their lives from unbearable to unstoppable. With a passion for wellness that feels less like work and more like a calling, Sonia uses a step-by-step proven system to help her clients reconnect with their authentic selves by examining their past and defining future aspirations. An adventurous soul, retreat guru, and an avid swimmer who collects unique coffee cups. I have mine right here. Sonia practices daily self-care and fills her cup so she can better serve others. When she's not with clients, Sonia, the self-described athletic geek, loves to connect, inspire through her online community. I love that, Sonia. Thank you so much for being on my show today. I'm excited to talk to you. You're already super fun, and I love your energy, and I just know we're going to have such a blast today.
Thank you. Thank you. Sometimes that's all there is to say, and it's still not enough. But at the end of the day, you summarized. I got excited listening to the way you summarized my life. And that's kind of a cool, epic moment. It's enough to make you pause and just say thank you, because it's like, wow, that is so true. Check, 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 still to this day. And when do we do those check-ins with ourselves, right? So, guys, for any of my listeners listening to this, you have reached the I Am podcast show. And this is going to be Gina's recording of me, which I am adding to my show. This will be content episode number 172. You and I both know there's no title as of yet. But Gina, we're keeping it so real that I need to let my dog in. So I'm going to bring you guys with me as I let her in. I thought I let her in before. And thank you again for having me on your show and for sharing this, co-sharing this show with everybody, because it makes a difference. It all makes a difference.
It'll be fun, like a co-hosting.
It will be. But you know what? Isn't that the reality? Isn't that such, ooh, let's turn this around. Such is life anyway, right? Aren't we always co-hosting? Aren't we
Always.
always yinging and yanging? Aren't we always making decisions and choices? Yes, this is a full ass gym behind me. Do you really think I should be on the mat doing Pilates? I am wearing my Pilates. You can't really see them. I am wearing my pink pants, and a workout top and a swimsuit cover up because I want it to be summer.
How is the weather over there, by the way? Because it is hot. And I had opened up my windows and I'm like, oh no, the leaf blowers are outside. And then because I live kind of near downtown, and I already hear the fire trucks and fire engines going by, and I'm just like, oh no. So it's nice and warm where I'm at. How about yourself?
Well, I want to say it's nice and warm and sunny, but it's 6 degrees Celsius.
Oh
It
yeah.
was not very warm. You need a toque. You need something on your head because there's going to be some wind with that.
That's
Yeah.
right. Well, I'm so excited to have you on my show today. So we're just talking about accountability, and I know you describe yourself as an accountability coach who helps people keep their promises to themselves. Can you actually go ahead and share how you developed this focus and what it means to take someone's life from unbearable to unstoppable?
Well, okay, so let's start with me being a personal trainer and running fitness classes, small group fitness classes at my studio. And, we're talking women of all walks of life, of every shape and size, but the one thing they have in common is uncertainty. They're
Mhm.
not sure what they're capable of. So, what I magically get to see is that turnaround, that that piece of inspiration happens with every single person I was training. And then they're ready to take it to the next level. And they're all of a sudden like, this doesn't work because all they've done is up to their physical piece. So before we were introducing a physical component that they weren't doing before, making it a regular part of their routine, it was easy to see some sort of result when you're adding something or taking something away, right? But when you're ready to go to the next level and maybe you add a piece to it, or you've got different dreams or desires, but you're not seeing the results, you need to add more than one thing.
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So I could be personal training, or they could be working out with me 3 days a week and going home and emotionally eating because they're financially stressed,
Mm.
because they hate the fact that they have to make their lunch to go to work tomorrow. All of these stressors need to be healed before you're going to see results in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a multi-area process. We need motivation in all of these areas, and our why really needs to be big enough. Really needs to be big enough.
Yeah. Have you
To
heard of the 5 levels of why?
why till you cry?
Oh no, the 5 levels of why.
No,
So
I
yeah.
haven't, but I've heard of why till you cry. So tell us about 5 levels of why, because I'm wondering if it's the same.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask you the same thing too. So the 5 levels of why. So I was also in business coaching too, in a program with women, and they were conducting a bunch of master classes, and I was just so intrigued because they introduced me to the 5 levels of why. Why do I want my business? Because we are breathing business or breathing life into our business. And so we wanted to break everything down. So why do I want to do this? Well, this is the reason why. Why do I want to? Why is that? Well, because of this. It really got down to my last why is because I wanted to be so connected to source that I can create an impact amongst the world and let that be the ripple effect amongst everybody, where we're all have that collective consciousness. And if we're all having inner peace with ourselves, then there will be world peace. I feel anyway. And so that was my last why, was breaking it down to I want to be so connected to source, whether you call it God, frequency, love, whatever you want to call it, um, that I just want to create a ripple effect of love on here on earth.
I love that. And I love the fact that it looks so different for everybody. But at the
Right.
end of the day, there is, in most cases, when you get to that why, the final why, some sort of connection to the community or bigger. It's, you realize for the first time, you're going through it and you realize it's a tangible thing. And
Mhm.
then maybe you're feeling selfish because maybe it's not a tangible thing after all. Maybe it's the way you feel versus the way you look in that bathing suit, right? And then you realize, well, really, that's not the truth. It's because I love the way my energy soars and how I can pick anything from my closet, and it's easier to bounce off the couch and to go for a walk, which keeps my energy higher. It's not such a fuss. And when you notice the feeling versus the visual, that's a different level. It's just so you need to be aware of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awareness is always key. I think that everything starts with awareness, because I was mentioning this story back in the day. When I was young in high school, I was gaining a tremendous amount of weight and not realizing it. My boyfriend was like, we're always eating out. It was my senior year at high school. I was eating, eating, eating. And I didn't realize I was gaining so much weight until a family friend came over our house and was like, he sat me down too. And my mom was with us. He's like, you're really gaining a lot of weight. And it like tore me apart because I had no awareness on it. And it wasn't until I actually then looked at pictures and I'm like, oh, geez, he's right. Because even my clothes, they were a little bit baggy, so I really couldn't tell. But I saw it and I felt like, oh, so I went on a weight loss program and my mom put me on, and then I lost weight. And I think since then I was always then aware of like, okay, I wouldn't be on the scale every day or anything. I just want to see, how do I feel? So I how do I feel inside my body today? And every day your body is different. Like, at least for me, like I wake up like, okay, today is a great day. What did I do with this last week that made my body feel like this? Or, sometimes like doesn't look so good. I'm like, okay, well, some things I need to work on a little bit here and there.
Do you notice now that you've been doing video clips for a while, when you go and look back, that you see a different version of yourself?
It's a great question. And I see the same person.
You see the same
I
person.
see the same
Okay.
person. Yeah. I mean,
So,
sometimes depending on the light, hey, it depends on where I'm at, where I'm filming, and it depends on the lighting too, and depends on
okay.
how far my camera is.
You know what?
That will make a difference, right? I'm
I
just
go
kidding.
back and look at my pictures, and you can see evolution. You can see evolution from 6 months ago, from a year ago, from 6 weeks ago, or from 6 years ago when I was going live. You,
Oh, yeah, I
it
see
is
what you're saying
so
now.
cool to see the evolution in the person I am and the content I've written, and more importantly, how my life's unfolded.
Yeah.
Like on so many levels, right?
Yeah, I
And
love that.
that's the visibility piece. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say what was funny is that now I know what you're coming from. Yes, so I never made videos until I think since when we had that pause in 2020, this is the time where I actually did a lot of self-evaluation and wanted to discover things that I wanted to do. And so I was just playing with like social media. But mind you, I was going to get rid of all of my social media accounts in 2020. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to start making reels because I started getting into like my vitamin business and I wanted to promote it. And I started doing TikTok videos. I like my mentor at the time was teaching me how to do all this and they were fun, but I was very shy in the beginning. So yes, I'm not as shy anymore as I was back then. Back then you can see a little bit me looking down, but I see myself evolving, like you said. And there's so much growth now because it takes practice. And once you start practicing more and more, you start building that confidence. And that confidence is like, yes, Gina, you can do it. Keep going. And this goes for everybody.
Well, and that's the thing. So the awareness piece, the growth piece, you put it together and you're going to find out as you listen to the rest of the episode what it leads to when you add awareness and growth together.
Yeah. And speaking about growth, like for me, like I'm starting to write a book, but I wanted to talk to you about your book and what inspired you to write your book and what is it called?
Okay, so there's a couple, but the one that I'm sure you're referring to is this one,
Yeah.
which is the Your Story Matters book. It's a self-love, self-awareness workbook. And so it's not your typical book. There's exercises for you to do. And there's even a playlist, and there's an amazing, so I actually have the Power to Women playlist, but when you message me, if you get the digital copy, but you're in the Celebrate Everything group, you've got my contact information in here. I will get you the Power to Women playlist available on Spotify that's been so many songs have been added to it. Women only fun songs, all of them. So think Aretha, Shania, everybody in between, right? Cyndi Lauper, like it's fun. And then there's a really cool coloring sheet
Oh
in
yeah.
here about Your Story Matters. And I had a client who I was working with, and this piece right here, this was her homework piece for one of our sessions. She fell in love with coloring. She ordered herself books and crayons, and every night she peacefully sat there and colored. And it wasn't just this. This was the beginning for her. And in the beginning, these are like shorter stories. So, how to show gratitude, the burnt toast syndrome. Are you familiar with the burnt toast
I was
syndrome?
just going to ask you, what is the burnt toast syndrome?
Okay, guys, so we are going to read from this book right here, Your Story Matters. Okay, burnt toast syndrome. I'm going to put my glasses on and read this for
Yeah,
you and
yeah.
see if you can connect with the story. Page 13. Are you suffering from burnt toast syndrome? Imagine this scenario at breakfast. You made toast for the family, but two pieces come out a little darker than the rest. You could just leave them on the plate for someone else to pick up, or you could toss a couple of new pieces into the toaster. But what do? You eat the burnt toast yourself. Most of us are already nodding and thinking what we're doing here. We're just going to suck it up and eat the burnt toast, right? It's why waste more bread? It's okay. And that's just one of a million things we do to ourselves all the time without giving it a second thought. And it's not that we're treating ourselves badly, it's more that we're not treating ourselves well. You know, this story goes on and I can read more of it, but these couple lines that I just read, when we learn to treat ourselves well, when we try to figure out what that looks like, when we take a look at the women on our vision boards and the life that we want to lead, that's part of our why. What's on your vision board is part of your why. So if you have no idea where to start there. And if you have no idea where to start, DM me and I'll connect you with my online vision board course. And I'm talking about this because I just did one and it's a starting point to what's inside. You know, Don't just cut out papers. Go through a course that's going to make you think differently. Take that information in with an open mind. Think about this burnt toast syndrome. The most important takeaway here, the most important takeaway is that this is one of a million things we do to ourselves all the time. What else do we do? Not only are we treating ourselves like this, right? We're letting our future selves know that this is acceptable. So we're going to continue in the life that we're continually in right here, right now, where we expand on our wishes and dreams and desires. We start to have the courage to ask for what those things are. And then we start to have them in our life. I have flowers on my kitchen table because I made a comment about how beautiful the house is with flowers on it. And my husband bought me flowers while we were out shopping. It's a small thing. Over the weekend, we went to the Grand Theater and we got dressed up, both of us, and we went out for a beautiful dinner afterwards. And we both felt elite, if you would, even in our own minds, call it whatever you will. We felt amazing. Not better or worse than anybody. There was no judgment. It was treating ourselves the way we deserved. There was none of anything in the moment, but stepping into the people who we were in that moment with the dresses on, with the wine. I outright looked at him and said, I love day drinking. You know, I don't drink often at all, but at a matinee, and I know this, you know, it's a show to be on where we talk more so about sobriety. And I have a mom, and I don't know if you know this, my mom has been in AA for almost 4 years now.
Oh, wow.
We support her immensely. We drink non-alcoholic everything when she's around. And to be honest, I spent about a year not drinking. But at this event, for me, that was part of the person I was stepping into. She didn't have to worry about those things. Her balanced health was there. She's achieved time freedom, so she can do this as a matinee and not just at the end of the day when she's exhausted. And she's reached elevated finances, which means she can celebrate a glass of wine every once in a while. Right? So, or a glass of whatever.
Yeah, you
Whatever it
know.
may be. And I say this because the very next day I had a birthday celebration with one of my best friends. And we are at a Tex-Mex place and we both ordered tea. Right? Tea and tacos, by the way, is delicious because the hot drink makes it spicier. I'm just saying.
Yes, and I think that's what because a lot of our listeners are not just, it's not about only addiction, it's just they want to change their lifestyle and have they want to view the relationship with alcohol differently. So using exactly what you just said, yeah, so instead of, oh, I'm so stressed out, let me have a drink, just have a drink when you're just celebrating or going out somewhere fancy. So
Yeah.
it's your relationship with alcohol and looking at it differently rather than just saying, oh, because a lot of people will drink at bars because they're bored, they have nothing to do, their friends are influencing them. But just why do they want to drink a glass of whatever? It's their choice. And then knowing that they have that power to make that choice is very empowering, actually.
I loved how you complimented that and you brought it full circle for everybody because at the end of the day, even with food, see, an addictive personality is an addictive personality. It doesn't matter the discipline. And a lot of people don't connect the dots when it comes to being an athlete. When it comes to smoking too much, drinking too much, doing too much, being a workaholic, needing to escape all the time. These are all defense mechanisms set in place to try to keep you safe. So let me ask you a question. So we're going to ping pong a different way because I'm just curious, based on where the conversation's at. We've talked about the burnt toast syndrome a little bit, but let's take it to the next level. So now we're eating things that are not fueling our body. We're immediately not feeling well. We're immediately questioning why we did that, even subconsciously. Like, why? So now we've got our guard up a little bit. We're even doubting ourselves. Why are we treating ourselves lesser than anybody else? Even on the subconscious level. So how are you going to heal that little person inside of you, letting them know that they're safe? And even by this action, they're safe. What are we going to do about that at that point? And this is where tapping in to heal your nervous system is a game changer. And tapping in to heal your nervous system, to work on regulating it through different things. If you're not doing them, there's so much that you can add, and it's a matter of finding a blend that works for you that you can consistently do every single day. So you want to be able to explore this and step into creativity and be open, but every single thing can look different for every person, right?
Yeah, everybody's
Yeah,
journey is different.
yeah, but there needs to be some sort of somatic healing touching on your nervous system from the inside. Because nothing will change. If your inside body, if your inner child doesn't know, doesn't feel safe right here, right now, how can it anticipate a better life for tomorrow? It's not going to be able to. It's going to anticipate a life more of the same because that's the only thing showing up in their body. So imagine the currents, the current level of confidence and clarity you need to pull out of your back pocket or your heart or from your friends or from above through source, through God, whatever it takes at this point to think differently so you can have a different result. So you can shine within and let your bright light do its job, right? How are you
Yes.
healing your nervous system? What are you doing on a regular to heal your nervous system? So there's a question for you. Do you have an
Yes,
answer?
compassion and grace. And these are things you brought up, and I love this. Vision board and inner child. And I have both, so you can't really see my phone. So this is, I don't know if you can see it. This is me on my cell phone.
Nice.
And that's my inner child. And then my vision board is also on there too, on the screensaver part. And I have made it through Canva, just putting all these different things that I want on there. But I give myself grace and compassion. I
Love
am a
it.
human being here on earth doing the best that I can. We're all here trying to figure out everything. And that inner child healing is very important because I suffered from sexual trauma from the years of 6 years old to 12 years old, kept it all bottled up inside until the age of 22, 23. But yet that didn't help. After that moment, I shared everything to my family. It still hasn't been spoken about. So I really had to go within, have that conversation with myself, that younger version of myself, and then give her grace and compassion and say, none of this is your fault. None of it.
And
And just to just start loving myself more and more each and every day. And I really started loving myself because my drinking was like live or die. I was full on. I needed medical treatment in order for me to become sober. I needed to be in the hospital. I needed to be medically detoxed. So it was a severe dependency. But that moment that I left that hospital, I knew, because I have kids, I knew I did not want to live like this anymore. And I wasn't going to make myself feel that shame and guilt. And immediately I left. There was a bottle of vodka waiting for me. I threw it away and I said, no more, Gina, no more. It's time to start living, and it's time to start being. And it's time to make a difference in this world, because I know if I can do it and others need help, they can do it too. Because it really is just a matter of giving yourself that grace, love, and compassion that we all deserve, because we are so worthy of it.
I think that's, well, there was something there. Hang on a second. Um, what I liked, what you said there was, you opened up and shared with us your wake up call. And not everybody is lucky enough to have a wake up call. Most people are waiting for their wake up call, thinking they're invincible and it's not going to happen to them. And most people have their wake up call right in front of them. It scares the heck out of them, but for some reason they're paralyzed, right? They're sitting there and let's talk about your nervous system again. They're sitting there in a frozen state. They're paralyzed with what to do because of the trauma. So much trauma needs to heal, and then this is not going away. right? Because we can't change our thoughts quick enough. So we're mitigating, we are manifesting, we are bringing in more of the same. So I love the fact that you had a wake up call and then you took action on it, and the courage that took. The courage that took. So there are many people in this world right now that are going through so many layers of stress, health issues and stress. And then there's a generation in there that are in a position where, like you said, it's do or die. Show up, grind, do the thing, or you're going back 10 steps. Like the solution is this, but this is not a solution because this is paralyzing in so many ways, but this is the solution that the world presents to you, and then you have to figure out other solutions instead of this one, right? So the thing is, very few outlets have that safe container like sobriety does, like having an avenue for help, like having a safe place to grow into the person of yourself that you are, that teaches you about self-awareness and self-judgment and growth. Not every single mental health community or community as a whole, where it could be an ailment or disability, whatever we want to label it, has that support. So being able to grow from that, because that's good and bad. Again, we can talk about the black, white, and the ugly in there. The whole point, the community exists. With community, we have the black, white, and the ugly, right? So, but you took your wake up call, you did something about it, you embraced yourself through the community and made it through the other side. And look at you glow, girl.
You know, it's so much better on the other side. And I was just talking to somebody recently that she was just trying to change her lifestyle and just wanted to try out what alcohol free because I wasn't serving her anymore. And then she was just sharing with me the story about how her relationships, even with her husband, who is actually they're bar owners, by the way, but they have a beautiful list of mocktails on their menu. And she was sharing me, yeah, why can't you not have fun? You don't have to be drinking to have fun. You know, you can go out there, order some mocktails, and you can dance. You know, I said, yeah, this is an opportunity for you just to discover who you are and the joys that you have. And going back to like the 2020 and pausing for that moment, I realized, and this is what guests have actually told me, they realize that, hey, I don't want to work at my corporate job anymore because it stresses me out. And they're finding their own passions and building their own businesses pretty much.
Well,
And
I
I,
had two
oh
people
yeah.
in less than a week share with me that they're going into early retirement because
Oh
of all of the
wow.
crap. They're coming home and they don't have enough time to unwind before
Mhm.
they have to do the rat race all over again and deal with the politics and the drama and the heaviness. And all I saw, all I saw was like being visually, guys, visualize this, being in a cave to begin with and being backed in, and having those rocks close you in. I was feeling claustrophobic, as if society was putting all of this on us by go work in corporate because it's safe. It's the only thing that'll get you this, this, and this. But guess what? People are people. It doesn't matter if I ask Gina to invest with me, or if Gina's the decision maker at a bank and I ask Gina to invest in me. People are people. It's still people that make decisions at the end of the day. Gina, who I'm speaking with right now, very well might know the CEO of a company that's looking for an accountability coach to help their people grow on a personal and professional level. And the relationship boils down to people to people. So the more we connect with people, the more the magic appears.
Yes. And let's talk about you have an online community, is that correct?
I
Let
do. Yeah,
yeah,
my Celebrate Everything group in Facebook is my public, anybody can enter community.
nice.
Um, in that community, I really teach people how to share their wins. And most people yet are to the point where they're not even identifying or thinking twice about identifying their wins because they're back in that cave so much. They're trying to push
Mm-hmm.
the door open. They're trying to make today a little bit better than yesterday, but they really don't even have the bandwidth to figure out how. at this point. Like their survival is what's on the line every day, bandwidth wise, energy wise, meals, movement, mindset, in all areas, their relationship with money, their stress, they're done. Yeah.
Wow. Now, do you have any type of like, do you host retreats or do you have any workshops or anything that you do online that people can attend?
Very funny that you said, do I host retreats? Because I've been journaling on that lately.
Oh,
I did a vision board. My most recent vision board, which is in a book up in the room, um, has pictures of me and what my retreat looks like. It's almost all about the retreat. Um, I was talking to somebody yesterday, the girl I went for lunch with the other day, and she's like, no, whenever you do your retreat, let me know. And I'm like, I don't have a venue yet, but I know what to do. I know what it's going to look like. And I was actually breaking it down in my journal today. So the fact that you brought up retreat, I have to say that's another word that came up in my journal, synchronicity, which when you
mm,
believe in faith, it's really no other word. It's not a coincidence.
great.
It's not luck. It's happening on purpose. So yes, retreats is something that is in my back pocket. I don't have all of the details yet, but I'm working on maybe a local one and then a faraway one in a different country, but we'll see. In the meantime, I do workshops. So I just completed a vision board workshop 2 weeks ago. I did it in person in the small town where I live, so it was fantastic because we got to be together and feel the energy. But I do have a workshop course available. It's in my link tree. We're going to have the resources available through the show notes. Um, it's just so exciting to be able to share what's new and exciting. And we dived a little bit into the link tree, but even a basic way, if you don't want to go over the course, is do the wellness quiz in my link tree. And it's going to tell you, it's about a 3-minute quiz. It's about chakras. And it's going to tell me where you're at. And when we hop on a call, I'll be able to give you 3 free takeaways. It's completely
Yeah.
free. Yeah.
So speaking of chakras, I lately I've been having it right here where my hairs are standing up on my head when I'm hearing like certain messages. Like I went to this wonderful workshop over in San Diego, California, not too long ago. Actually, it was in October. And the speakers there was just, I was getting so inspired and everything that my hairs were starting to stand up and I felt like there was goosebumps on the top of my head. That's my crown chakra. What is the crown chakra supposed to represent?
Well, let me ask you before I tell you,
Yeah.
what did you feel that it represented?
Oh, freedom.
Okay. Go ahead.
Freedom. I'm trying to think this because there were so many, but I was getting goosebumps. So you know what I really think? I really feel like it's also the energy that's in the room. And because I'm an empath, I feel, I sense, I everything. And so I'm probably feeling everybody else's vibration as well. And I'm like, wow, room's incredible. Look at all these women. Um, it was just freedom that I was learning about and how to break free from any type of things that's holding you down, like in the mindset, like limiting beliefs and I used to have, so I hated myself before. I'm not going to lie. I, I that's why I drunk is because I had very low self-esteem and I felt that made me have more confidence. Not anymore because I did seek a mindset coach. There was no alcohol sobriety coach or a recovery coach. There was only AA coaches or not coaches, I guess AA, what do you
Counselors,
call
is
it?
it?
Counselors or I forget what they're called.
Oh, sponsors.
Sponsors, thank you. Because I didn't have one. That's why I was like, what are they
My mom
called?
has a sponsor.
That's right, a
Yes.
sponsor. But I didn't go that route. I was seeking a mindset coach, and then she was also a fitness trainer like yourself. And then she focused on yoga, breathing, everything. And that's what really helped me is once I got my mind right and started changing my story, reframing my mindset. Didn't have to believe what always my mind was telling me. Didn't have to always believe what other people are telling me, but really started going within. That's when I felt like, okay, this is freedom. I feel like, wow, this world is not the way it is. The conditioning really did take a toll. It started with growing up in like schools, you know, and who you hang out with. And even unfortunately, even the parents that raise you. I mean, mine, she did the best that she can with with whatever she had, you know, she only knew what she knew. I love my mom. Okay. I don't blame anybody for anything. I am just so full of joy. And I am just like, you know what, mom, I told her the other day, I'm gonna break this generational trauma thing because no more, because she was traumatized by her mother and so on, so go so forth, so forth, so forth. But I'm like, nope, nope, we're going to this is the time. And so I love my mom though. She, bless her heart.
Well, okay, so I almost interrupted you, but the ping pong in me was able to refrain herself a little bit. A couple things you mentioned there that again are wow factors, so I had to write them down. She did the best that she could with what she had. This is not the first time today I've heard this sentence.
Oh wow.
Okay, so again, whether it's the second or the third time, the point is I know it's not the first time that I've heard this. Breaking generational trauma, again, showed up on my cards this morning, is not, well, so did Easy Does It, but is not the first time I've heard it today. Literally those words. And this is when we slow down in life, you know, life's going to get hard if it hasn't already. Okay. And there's going to be a point when we're coming out of that hard and we're completely in limbo with things. Nothing is really working the way you expect it to. You know, the shit's not done falling out of place before it can all come back into place. It's not even done falling apart. And you're trying to fix this and you haven't made it through here yet. So mentally, you've got the game going on and you don't know if you have the strength for it because this is suddenly coming on. But I love when we can pick up pieces that are meant to hit us, when we can slow down enough to hear those messages, right? You shared up with us that your hair has been sticking up above the head. And yes, it is your crown chakra. And you explained to all of us that it felt like freedom. That maybe you were picking up the energy in the room and maybe you need to find a way of cutting those cords. But in the meantime, more often than not, it literally felt like freedom. Like you felt the light. And here's why. Your crown chakra is literally that. It connects you with source. It connects you with the universe. It opens your mind. Have you ever watched a 3 or 4-year-old child look at the world?
Oh yeah.
It opens your mind to curiosity and wonder. It opens your ears to the fact maybe you listen to podcasts all the time and what's new on this one. Here's what you're walking away with, what's new. It opens up what's familiar to what else is possible. So your drive home every day or your shift every day at work, nothing new, nothing new, nothing new. What else is possible? You know what's kind of cool? I saw black cars all the way home. Kind of weird, right? But whatever. My favorite songs came on the radio today on the way home. That's kind of cool. I got bird poop on the car. Like, good luck. Whatever. You know, the whole thing is when we can change our story, which is exactly what you did, we can change our outcome. And the only way we can really do that is by thinking about what our future self wants, because our current self isn't happy.
Right. I was just thinking about that bird poop, right? Have you ever gotten bird poop on you twice in one day within within 10 minutes?
No, thank goodness.
That
But
happened to me.
I do get excited when there's fresh bird poop on the car every time, Gina. Like I'm like a kid jumping up and down.
I remember I got bird poop. I was like, what is this? And I'm like, oh no. And then I was walking
On
more. I was on a lake, right? And then I came down on me again, like, oh, okay, I must be that lucky today.
uh
It was funny.
that is that's good. I like that. I I would be jumping up and down for you, honestly, if I saw you. But like, yes, yeah. Ah.
This is great. I'm very giggly and I laugh all the time. I've always been like that, but more so, I just have so much joy in life now. Like I'm noticing, we're just talking about abundance. Who was I talking to? I think it was my husband about abundance, and I'm like, it's not about the materialistic things. Abundance is just like the love and joy that I have in my life. That's abundance to me. Like I have that, and even I'll share with you something personal. I was 3 months pregnant, and I then just lost my baby a week and a half ago.
Mm.
And I was telling my husband, I said, I have to be grateful for this moment as much as it hurts. And trust me, I'm still hurting. I am still hurting. I have my ups and downs, and that's just my grieving process. I take walks, I go out in nature, and it makes me have peace inside.
Yes,
And
yes.
I was telling him, I was like, I have to be grateful for this because it wasn't meant to be for this time. I have to, we're still going to try, we're not going to give up. But I said, it's just not the right time. When the time is right, it will happen. And he was like shocked that I would say something like that. Now, the old Gina, she would be blaming whatever I was doing, blaming myself, whatever I did. What did I do wrong? What was I eating? Was I eating bad? No, it's just wasn't meant to be at this time. Doesn't
You
mean it's not
you
going to happen.
well, and that's the thing. You identified that you were about to be a victim and you flipped the script
Yeah.
because being a victim is actually harder than being the heroine. Being the heroine could be as easy as promising yourself a shower every day and putting on a dress every day. And I say dress to make yourself feel that bounce. You hate dresses, don't do dresses. But something that makes you feel that bounce, that joy, that life. And if those are the only two things you do that day, that's going to help you step out of victim mode until you're ready for more,
That's
right?
right.
Because you don't want to you don't want to stay there, and it's not a good place to be.
Yeah. You're
And life
right.
gets hard. Yeah. And you turned it around. You so quickly. I mean, that period of time that you spent in victimhood was hard, really, really hard. But the moments that you opened your eyes and realized you wanted something different and you were able to be on the right path, you still had the roadblocks. You still had the mountains. You still had the deception. You still had the temptations in so many areas of your life. But you
That's right.
got back on every time you fell off or didn't fall off or ate that chocolate or whatever it was, right? Because you and I both know it's not just one thing that you were trying to improve during that process. It was a bunch of things. It's never just one thing. And when I talk to people, I talk about 4 areas, and I talked about that. I brought this up earlier: meals, movement, mindset, and a relationship with money. And I bring this up because we've talked a lot about mindset, but you can fall off track if you fall off your meal plan. Your mindset can go for a loop if you don't go for a walk today. You can start thinking, what's wrong with me? Like the negative victim talk can slip up because of any of those categories. Because you get stressed over a bill, because you have a fight with your husband or your wife, because you don't move your body in any way, shape, or form, knowing how much you'll feel better if you lose weight. But now you're eating crappy food because you feel bad for those things, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. It's
Now,
just something to think about because it's never one area where we're impacted, right?
that's right. And do you actually have a step-by-step system that actually begins with examining your clients' past?
I have a process that I take them through.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about the process you take them through? Because I'm sure you're inspiring many of our listeners here, and they probably were like, I want to know, Sonia.
Okay, so believe it or not, again, it's on my link tree. I think there's 3 different assessments. Let me pull it up quickly while we're talking because
Yeah, yeah.
there's either 3 or 4 assessments. And where I like to start with people, because it shows a couple things. It shows that you're willing to take a minute, 3 minutes, whatever, and make a commitment to yourself for even that period of time.
Yeah.
And then it shows that you're curious about what the results actually are. And it's not. So my process from the get-go eliminates instant gratification. There's
Mhm.
nothing instant. You have to wait for the answers. You have to book a call to go over the details. I am immediately testing your strength and desire for you, not for me. Okay. So on my link tree, there is a section that says start where you feel inspired. And there are 4 different quizzes there. The All About Me Eater's Edition. So it's all about food and your nutrition. The Design Your Life Your Way. It's 22 questions just about life. 3-minute chakra quiz. How to awaken your best self. So there's, again, a 3-minute quiz, and the answers will tell me which one of your chakras needs, which one, if any, or how many needs balancing. I can tell who doesn't do the answers right because they will typically not fall into any category or 1 or 2 categories. And again, nobody can sustain that level of perfectionist all the time. So you're wasting everybody's time, so they kind of don't bother. And I'm not trying to be cruel, but if you don't feel aligned to the quiz or the assessment, go back and take a look at the other one. So the last one is your money mindset assessment, where we talk about, you fall into 1 of 3 categories for your money mindset. And then I send you back information about that particular category, an affirmation, and some details about your money avatar so you can dig a little bit deeper and learn more. And then I offer courses and workshops. But the reason I wanted to share with you about the quizzes, it provides us with a starting point. In every opportunity, there's a chance to book a free call. And it's telling me where you want to start, what you're most curious about, where you're at right now in terms of any of these questions: food, your lifestyle, your chakras, which is your internal alignment, or your relationship with money. So it's not like a typical coach where I'm doing your ways and your measurements, and we're really taking a completely different approach to this. Yeah. And
I
then from
love
there we
that.
talk about it. Thank you. It's unique, right? And we talk about that, what matters to you at that particular point, and the conversation can evolve however it needs to. Yeah.
I love that because you focus on different things, it's not just one thing because people have challenges in multiple things. So you cover
Well, I
everything.
do it, and most of us don't realize the connection. Like I said, what we do in one area, we do in all areas.
Right, right.
And I said that a slightly different way earlier, but if you think about it, in most cases, somebody who's overweight is also overdrawn in their bank accounts. They will be the only one to know both of those things for truth, right?
Yeah.
Um, there is a correlation because it's where they treat themselves and how they treat themselves, and how they're spending their money is also a way of how they're treating themselves. So what they think self-care is may or may not be the right form of self-care for them. And then their relationship when the bill comes in. So I love tackling all of the different areas. And I love saying, but I'm a different kind of coach. Because when it comes to movement, it doesn't matter what you do. And
Mhm.
maybe you need to trick yourself by wearing pink leggings and your sports bra so you can do it because you haven't done it yet today. So this is your non-negotiable for yourself. You put clothes on to remind you that you have to do it until you've done it. Then you can go to the next outfit of the day. Because I talked about this in my live this morning, how there's like 3 outfits of the day. There's your loungewear, which you're either wearing a different one at night or the same one in the morning or whatever, like that nighttime, morning time
Yeah.
outfit. And then there's your workout outfit, whether you're inside, outside, or both. And then there's your day outfit.
Yeah.
You
And
think of it, yeah.
it's nice because I do love to wear my workout outfit during the day because I have an elliptical at home and I have tons of yoga mats, weights, you name it. I have the bands, I have everything. Even if my husband wants to watch a movie, no excuses. Like I will be there busting out my yoga mat and start doing some leg lifts, donkey kicks, whatever. Just because, I noticed this. When I move my body and gentle movements too, doesn't have to be strenuous, my back feels better. And that's why I exercise, is because I don't want to be in pain. We have different goals for everything. It used to be, hey, I want that 6-pack. Hey, by the way, I never reached the goal of a 6-pack. Barely maybe a 2-pack. We'll see. But especially after kids, it was a little bit more challenging. But what was nice is that I feel better. Those endorphins kick in. You feel more motivated. You just overall feel good. And then no pain. No
Well,
pain.
and you know what? And I want to share with people, I don't have a movement quiz per se. I have that lifestyle one, right? When I mentioned it, because your movement is kind of attached into other things. If you are really depressed, if you're really not doing it, if you can't step in where Gina is, and Gina may not think, she said slower movement, you have no idea where that falls onto the scale, but we're
That's true.
always looking to compare. And that's the thing, don't compare, because your back might not feel better after one or two exercises. You may or may not be doing the right thing, but that's the same thing with going for a walk.
Yeah.
Your back might hurt after a block, but I need you to keep doing it.
Mhm.
I need you to, if your back hurts because you're on your back, you've been on medical leave, you're a little bit older, you've had a baby, it doesn't matter. I don't care what your story is. You want to get back into action. Your body knows you want to get back into action. Your mind, most importantly, knows. So now you're going to trick it by wearing clothes, right? You're going to do this clothes thing, and you're going to make the non-negotiable Pilates to strengthen your core, or yoga to help balance your system. So you're going to have one of those in your life, and then you're going to go for a walk around the block. And if the walk is hard, you're going to go a little bit less further, maybe shorten your stride, tuck in your core, because that's why you're working on your core to make the back easier, and go a little bit slower until it's comfortable. And once it's comfortable, you can take it a little bit further. But I promise you, you work on your core and you start going for walks every day. Eventually it becomes a non-negotiable. Eventually, but it doesn't start there. You heard me say today. You heard Gina say it starts, gentle movements. I'm not talking the HIIT classes I used to teach. I used to teach 23 HIIT classes a week right before COVID shut us down. I'm to the point where walking around the block sometimes hurts my back.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, yoga and Pilates is, but you know what? I'm also doing Aquafit. I'm having so much fun with Aquafit. But like you, Gina, the story changes, right? You're not doing this to get a six pack. You're doing this for the energy that you get. I'm doing this for the sense of community I get when I walk into the Y, and I get to talk to people about doing a fitness class where there's 50 people in the class and we're listening to rock music, and the benefit, I know how to use my muscles. So I can really get a good workout doing Aquafit, because I know the power of visualization. It's not any different than me using weights with the right mindset and the right
Yeah.
attention and the right focus. So there are so many fun things that you can do for different reasons, and it's a way of tricking your body until it becomes something that you crave every day. Is that where you're at right now? Where you crave it?
Yes. Oh, I have to because it makes me feel good. It's just part of my lifestyle, like brushing your teeth every day. It
Yeah.
becomes like, hey, some movements every day.
Yeah.
And if I don't feel good in the morning time, because I have my morning routine, if I don't feel good in the morning time, I just do some stretching. That actually helps. Or use the foam roller, to work
Yeah.
out that
Yeah.
fascia. It really does help my body because I've been in many car accidents, none my fault, none my fault. But so I have to work on a lot of my muscles and then my bones and my joints. I have to have that movement. That's why I'm always moving my body. If you probably see me, I have to. I have to.
You know what though? We take for granted that we get this body for X amount of years, not days, not months, but years. And as our life evolves, we start to see that differently,
Yeah.
because we think that we're 20, but something's happened and we're not. And the more kids we have, the quicker time goes by. Then they become your grandkids, and then what happened and how. And I don't know, it's just so beautiful, but forget, we take for granted our physical body,
Yeah.
because the first thing when we're sick is we lay on the couch. We're not feeling well, we lay down.
Yeah.
We emotionally eat for the most part. We don't emotionally walk. Can you? Whew, I mean, it came to the point where I was emotionally running, and you'll hear that with runners because they've reached the point where they can go for a 30-minute run and come back a different person.
Mhm.
You don't start there.
I was more of the unaware eater.
Mm. And I help people with that. I help them identify if they're a social eater, an unaware eater, if they're an emotional eater. And most people are emotional eater because most people they do not put boredom in the same category as emotion.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me about
Yeah.
yours. Tell me about your eat. What one was it?
Oh, it was unaware eating.
Unaware
So
eating.
I would just be like grazing, just like, oh, my mom would give me food. I would just eat, like, I not even pay attention to like the portion size and just, oh, I ate it all that fast. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But not anymore. No, now it's just like my intention of eating. Like, what do I want to feel? Because food is energy for me. So wait, it's great because my husband bought a juicer, and you know we have our own garden outside, which is very. I love like the old. I want to live in the country. Okay, I do have. I am blessed because behind me are beautiful hills, but in front of me is a loud city. So I do have the best of both worlds. I love like the old country. My goal is to have and retire and have a miniature farm where there's bees that can produce honey. There's a lake. There's a chicken coop so I can get my eggs. I want to grow plants that produce fruits and vegetables. I even want cows, you know, I want a horse. And in time, it's going to happen. I know so because I just know. I just know. But that's the life I want to live, the old country life. I'm tired of the city.
Yeah. You know, the fact that you can feel what that feels like, and I know you can feel it by the way you described your fruit and vegetable garden and the horses, almost like you're walking around the backyard, stepping out
Yeah.
of the away from the manure. I can feel it as you were walking us through that. And you know, I heard this, I believe it was on your other podcast, and I'm not sure if it was you or your guest, but you know, when you feel it like that, it's not so much a thought anymore, it's a calling.
Yeah.
And that's how come you feel it. That retreat that I was talking about, me
Mhm.
being in this field, the good, the bad, the ugly, after 12 years, this is as much as it's evolved, no matter what, this is on my mind all the time. This is the calling. And that's the difference, right? When it's a calling, you're able to shine within. When it's a calling, you're ready to make those changes, but you have to be ready.
Mhm.
Like, tell us about that. I know the conversation goes backwards, or it goes back and forth, but when it came to your sobriety, tell us about being ready.
Oh, ready? Oh,
Yeah.
so it was in always the back of my head that I want to get sober. I knew I wanted to get sober because it was in my mind. And and then I would relapse, you know, it's not linear. The whole process of trying to be sober is not linear. You're going to have your hiccups, and this is the process that I went through. This is through my own experience. I know everybody's experience is different. It was the fact looking at my children and knowing what would it be like without them having a mother, a life, literally. And I knew I was like, you know, this is not about me. It is about me, but this is my children's future. And we're going back to then the generational trauma, you know, I need to break that chain. So that's what I chose. I envisioned my children not
Mhm.
having a mother. And I'm like, no, 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 no. No. So I actually surrendered because I was in my ego, you know, I can do this on my own. I can do this on my own. No, I couldn't do it on my own. I
Mhm.
never asked for help. That was the one thing I never asked for help. It wasn't the moment that I surrendered. I said, if there's a God, you know, because I wasn't religious or spiritual. I'm definitely spiritual now. Oh, like even thinking about it and talking about it, I get goosebumps everywhere. So it's the truth bumps. I said, I need help. I need help. And sure enough, 2 weeks later, I was then hospitalized with pancreatitis, you know, and that's where I was able to get that detox. I knew I needed help because it was a matter of life or death. And that was my realization is my children's lives, my life, and just our future together, you know, as family.
You know what? So much to unpack there. And I know we don't have time to do this on this particular show. So, guys, I guess we're going to have to do this again on another show. But,
Yeah.
you know, so much to unpack. First of all, truth bumps versus goosebumps. Absolutely love that. Because how many times do you say that? And I want to say, I think becoming spiritual, whatever that looks like to you, is part of the journey to healing.
Mm-hmm.
So I was spiritual first, but I came into believing specifically about what my God actually looks like and what it feels like to me, to the point where I can tell I don't feel like I have to identify spiritual in the universe as much anymore, that I can just be who I am in so many areas. And so much that not only did I bring my kids and my grandson, so my mom goes, my aunt goes. And I brought my best friend, she brought a friend. So my mom brought her neighbor. So it's becoming more and more people that are like-minded in this area. And I literally show up when I walk in the door and everybody's like, hey, hi. And my grandson, when he's with me, he's like, wow, people. And they all play and be and are together and praying together. But you know what? I go, and this is something that came up. I wanted to talk more about how the spirituality is part of the healing process, because I have not met a person yet that hasn't evolved into it. But when you go for a reason that surprises you. So I go to church now to sing. I don't sing. I pay attention, but I literally sing every single song like it's my last song. I'm moving my arms like you can see me now on the video. I am a different level of me. If somebody were to record me and post it, I don't even think I would feel vulnerable. That's how authentic I was. That's how proud of myself I was, that I could feel so confident in this space doing it. And this is how we help people.
How fun is that though? When you can just be yourself. Like that's the best feeling in the world.
I figured if my grandson can hop on the bench and move his hips and dance and clap, why can't I? So we are literally
100%.
doing this. I'm just not on the stuff yet. Not yet.
100%. Oh, I feel like I can talk to you forever. But for our listeners who want to go ahead and follow you on social media, where can they find you?
Okay, so I am working on a name change, like literally right now in this bracket of time. So as of right here, right now, freshapproachfitness.com is where you can find me. It will be Sonia Janice. So first name, last name.com is what I will be. It's what I paid for. It's the domain. We're just working on transitioning there. In the meantime, all of my links are in my link tree. So my link tree right now is kind of like my backbone, because it's the quickest thing to fix and to change. My social links are on there. My community links are on there. The Go Where You Feel Inspired set of assessments are on there. And that's about it. How about you? Where can we find you?
That's awesome. So you can find me all over social media, Gina Kunadian. It's Gina. Last name is Kunadian. And my Instagram is shine_Gina Kunadian. And of course, just www.ginakunadian.com. I do have a link tree as well on my Instagram. I love Linktree, by the way. Isn't it great?
It is great. I just made some changes to it today. It might be a little bit too bold, but
Yeah. And I
see.
have a gift for your listeners if they want, if they're interested. It's my 6-step blueprint to living an alcohol-free life. These are the steps that I have taken, that I've embraced throughout throughout my spiritual journey.
Yeah, it's
It's
true.
all spiritual journey, and that I still do to this day. So I will send you that link actually. I don't think you have that one, but I'll send that one to you, and we can put each other's information in each other's show notes. This was so much fun, by
Yeah.
the way. I've never done this. This is my first time doing like a co-host like podcast. I'm not a co-host podcast. I've done that before, but we're doing it at the same time for each of our podcasts. This is awesome. I love this stuff.
It's just, you know what? It's impromptu. It's different. And I could have just posted the interview that you would have had of me, but really, I don't see what would have been different.
Yeah, no.
Honestly, I mean, got listeners, if you listen, the only thing Gina didn't give us, so maybe we'll ask her really quickly now. She talked about her meals, her movement, her mindset, but she did not share her relationship with money. So, Gina, when I say the word
Oh,
money, what happens? Do you stress? Do you get excited? And a lot of this is the stress in your life and how you feel about things.
this is great. I don't even think about money anymore. I think it's because my husband is the provider. And so he takes care of all the bills and takes care of everything. I'm just living. So I don't know. That's probably why I didn't really talk about money too much. But I can tell you how I used to feel about money.
No, actually, you know what? Well, you could. It depends if we have enough time, but you don't have to justify your answer. That's
Okay.
the cool thing. Okay.
I
So
can say,
you don't
yeah.
have to, yeah, you don't have to justify your answer. It can be where it can be. And the fact that you don't have to think about money anymore is a sign that you can trust.
Yeah.
Again, that showed up in your healing process. And yeah, of course, guys, we can unpeel this back on so many different levels of this onion based on what she said and giving the trust to somebody else and what it looks like, but that's not the point. A, you never have to define your answers. And B, that's trust. And that
Yeah.
says a lot because some people don't even trust themselves with the promises that they make. And we know that because the scale doesn't go down, the bank account doesn't get smaller, the stress still shows up externally, and you are the victim.
Yeah. Yeah. With that said, I'm not going to talk about my past relationship with them because that's my past. We're talking about
Yeah.
present
Your future and your
and
future.
future and my future. Yeah. So thank
Yeah.
you so much, Sonia. I loved to have this conversation and you're amazing. So keep on shining, putting your shine out in the world because everybody needs it. So that way they can actually shine also within.
Yeah, you know what, girl? I today was so much fun, and your name of your show, Shine Within, is so fitting. So I wanted to make sure that we ended on that note, saying that absolutely. And our listeners know how to reach us. And I'm going to call this episode Shine Within, guys. I think I may have said something else or I wrote something else earlier, but Within is what it's going to be. Episode 172. And it's going to be posted a little bit later today as well, or tomorrow. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.